The movie begins in an ancient time when demons used to hunt humans and steal their souls. They would take the power of those souls and offer it to their king, a dark ruler named Kima. But during that time, something powerful happened. A group of young women rose up, the Demon Hunters. They used their voices to protect the innocent, because their songs carried ancient words that could shield souls and unite hearts. And from that harmony, they created a powerful shield, a shield strong enough to protect the human world. They called it the Hanmun. In every generation, 3 new girls are chosen to take on this sacred mission, to form a shield so strong nothing can break through. A barrier that keeps Kima and his demons from entering the human world. But to seal that world for good, they have to reach something called the Golden Hanmun, and only through their voices can they unlock it. Now, it's time for the next generation to rise. A new trio of demon hunters, carrying the weight of that mission on their shoulders. Their songs, their voices, could be the last hope. Their group is called the Hunters. And right now, they're on a world tour. Everyone's talking about them. Fans everywhere waiting for the moment they'll step on stage. The first member is Mira. She's the face of the group, the lead dancer, and a symbol of beauty and grace. Ever since she was little, she stood out in her family. She could steal the spotlight, even if she walked into a concert wearing a sleeping bag. The second is Zoe, the rapper and songwriter, born and raised in America. She's the youngest of the 3. But when she grabs the mic, she turns into a fierce, unstoppable force. And then there's Romy. Born into a family of artists, her mother was a famous pop star. But tragedy struck early. Romy lost her mom when she was just a child. That's when Celine, her mom's manager, stepped in to raise her and built the Hunters just for her. Now, Romy is the group's lead vocalist, and her voice holds more power than she could ever imagine. And then, the girls had a show coming up. Their fans were already waiting, excited and ready to cheer them on. But back at the control room, something didn't feel right. Their manager, Bobby, was tracking the plane, and suddenly he realized something was off. The Hunter's jet wasn't getting closer to the concert venue. It was flying away. Meanwhile, inside the jet, the girls were still in high spirits. They were laughing, joking, and celebrating what was about to be the biggest performance of their careers. They were surrounded by food and snacks, eating everything in sight and ordering even more. The mood was light, but not for long. Bit by bit, they started noticing strange behavior. The flight attendant, the pilot. Something about them didn't seem right. Then a call came in. It was Bobby. He sounded worried, asking why they hadn't landed yet. The girls looked out the window. Their smiles faded. The plane was flying in the wrong direction. That's when it hit them. These weren't just weird crew members. They were demons, and the proof was clear. Dark symbols on their arms, glowing faintly under the cabin lights. Before the girls could react, the demons revealed their true forms. Their faces twisted, their eyes burning, and they attacked. But the Hunters were ready. They reached for their weapons, specially designed for demon hunting, and broke into song. Not just any song, but one filled with ancient words passed down through generations. Lyrics that held real power against darkness. A fierce battle broke out inside the jet. The music clashed with the growls of demons. Energy, flew across the cabin. But the plane couldn't take it. It started breaking apart, spiraling toward disaster. The girls had no choice. They jumped, and just in time, they stepped onto the stage. Their entrance was nothing short of legendary. The lights, the music, the crowd went wild, screaming louder than ever before. No one knew what had just happened in the sky above. But the hunters had arrived, and they were unstoppable. Meanwhile, far beneath the surface, one of the demons had managed to escape. She returns to the demon realm, breathless, bruised, and furious, and she reported to King Kima. She told him the truth. The hunters had defeated them again. The moment he heard those words, Kima lost control. He exploded in rage, blaming her for being weak. Then, without mercy, he destroyed her on the spot. His voice thundered through the dark chambers as he turned to the rest of his army. "You're all useless," he shouted. "If we don't stop those girls now, their songs will awaken the Golden Hanmun, and once that happens, we'll be trapped here forever." His words echoed like fire through the halls. But just then, a new voice broke the silence. A demon named Gino stepped forward. He was different, calm, confident, and clever. And then he began to sing. His song was dark and theatrical, a twisted lullaby that told the story of a once feared demon king. A ruler who devoured souls, whose roar made the world tremble, until a few girls started singing songs. And now, that king was helpless, unable to do a thing. The room went silent. Kima's face darkened with fury. "How dare you mock me?" he growled. But Gino didn't flinch. "I'm not here to mock you," he said calmly. "I'm here to help. I have a plan." He leaned forward. "We attack them where they least expect it." The other demons watched closely. Gino continued. "The girls get their power from the shield. But that shield is fed by something else. The fans. Their fans are the key." He smiled. "We target the fans." At first, the rest of the demons laughed at the idea. It sounded ridiculous. But then, Gino and his crew began to transform, their demonic forms fading into something new. They turned into a group of handsome, stylish young men, the kind of group people couldn't take their eyes off. Kima's expression changed. The laughter stopped. Every demon in the room saw it now. This might actually work. Meanwhile, the hunters had finally decided to take a break. After their biggest concert yet, they were exhausted. But the break didn't last long. Romy gathered the girls and said, "I held off the golden premiere of our new song so we could perform it tonight." The world was buzzing with excitement. Everyone was waiting to hear the new song. But just as the girls started rehearsing, something strange began to happen. Every time Romy sang for more than a minute, she felt like she couldn't breathe, as if something was choking her voice. She tried to brush it off, but finally, she asked for a 5-minute break. The problem? The live show was only 10 minutes away. Poppy started to panic. There were thousands of fans outside, screaming with excitement. The sound was overwhelming. Backstage, Romy rushed to the bathroom, gasping for air. She unzipped the back of her dress to cool down and froze. She saw it again, the demon marks on her skin, shining darker than ever. Panic hit her hard. Her voice, her greatest gift, was being drained by the very thing she feared. And then we flash back to a younger Romy, asking Celine a heartbreaking question. Do hunters have to destroy all demons? Every single one? That's when we learn the truth. Romy bears demon marks because her father was a demon. But Celine had comforted her back then, told her she wasn't one of them. You're a hunter, like your mom, she said. And when the shield is complete, all the demons will vanish, and your marks will vanish too. Since that day, Romy had done everything she could to hide it from her friends, always avoiding any moment where they might see her body, so they'd never discover her secret. Now, back in the present, she stood alone, terrified, not just because of what was happening to her voice, but because of what it might mean. How can she save the world when she can't even save herself? Later that night, Romy came home feeling defeated. But the girls tried to cheer her up, telling her everything would be okay, that they could just reschedule the live show in a few days. Don't worry, Mira said. Poppy can sort it out with the team. But then, Poppy called. His voice was tense. It's not gonna happen, he said. The fans are furious. They waited all day and you didn't perform. Romy's heart sank. She looked at the girls and said quietly, I don't even know if I can reschedule. My voice, something's wrong with it. The room fell silent. Then Mira and Zoe gently spoke up. Maybe it's time to take a break. Skip this year's award show. Focus on getting better. But Romy shook her head. No, that performance is everything. It's how we charge the shield for the whole year. They all knew what that meant. And with only 2 weeks left until the golden premiere, the girls made a decision. They would help Romy heal her voice, no matter what it took. Lucky for them, Zoe already had 57 ideas. And she wanted to start with her absolute favorite one. A visit to the weirdest doctor she knew. This guy's a genius, Zoe said. He's got cures for everything. Sore throats, hair loss, even heartbreak. So off they went. The doctor ran some bizarre tests on Romy, checking her pulse, her energy, her aura, before finally handing them a bottle of glowing green liquid. This, he said, should help unlock the real voice inside her. With hope in their hands, the girls left the clinic and headed home. But on the way, they ran into 5 guys. Gorgeous, stylish, mysterious. It felt like something out of a movie. The girls were instantly smitten, until one of the guys bumped into Romy and knocked her flat on the sidewalk. No apology, no concern. Just kept walking. The girls stared after them, shocked. Their crush? Gone in seconds. They're not even nice, Mira said. Zoe rolled her eyes. Major ick. And just like that, the moment passed. But then, they heard a strange noise coming from the market nearby. Curious, they rushed over to see what was happening. And to their surprise, it was those same handsome guys again. But this time, they were singing. Their voices were incredible. Crowds started gathering, drawn in by the music. It didn't take long for the girls to realize they were a boy band. But unlike everyone else, the girls knew the truth. These weren't just performers. They were demons in disguise. And no matter how charming a demon looks, he's still a demon. So Mira reached for her weapon, ready to take them out right there. But Romy stopped her. There are too many people around, she whispered. If we fight them here, it'll cause chaos. We need a real plan. Just then, the boys introduced themselves to the crowd. We're the Saga Boys, one of them said, and we're performing live tonight. You don't want to miss it. That night, the girls suited up. They put on their demon hunting gear, ready to take the Saga Boys down. Their plan was simple. As soon as the band stepped on stage, they'd strike. But something went wrong. One of the demons, a sharp-eyed one named Gino, spotted them in the crowd. And before they could make a move, he spoke into the mic. "We've got some special guests with us tonight." Then he turned the spotlight on the girls. The crowd erupted in cheers, thinking this was all part of the show. Caught off guard, the girls froze, and while the audience kept cheering, the boys slipped away, sneaking out through the men's restroom. By the time the girls realized it, the demons were gone. They chased after them, only to walk straight into a trap. The room suddenly flooded, and they were attacked by water demons from all sides. In the chaos, Romy spotted Gino, the band's leader, and went after him. She fought hard, but during the battle, her clothes were torn. And in that moment, Gino froze. He saw something no one else had. A mark, glowing faintly on Romy's skin. She wasn't fully human. She was half demon. Romy panicked. Her friends needed her. But she didn't want them to see the marks. Didn't want them to know. But then, something unexpected happened. Gino stepped forward, and without a word, he wrapped a piece of cloth around her arm, covering the marks. She looked at him, stunned. He said nothing, just nodded. And with that, Romy turned back to help her friends. Together, they fought off the demons and won. But far away, the Demon King was watching. He was proud of Gino, because, little by little, Gino was weakening the shield that protected the human world. And now, the gate to the demon realm was starting to open again. Souls were being drained. More demons were slipping through. And the girls, they could feel it. The shield was breaking, faster than anyone expected. And then, Bobby tells them just how fast the Saga Boys are spreading. They're everywhere. Romy's convinced there's only one way to stop them: destroy the stage at the Idols Awards Festival. If they pull that off, the Saga Boys will lose their power. She asks Zoe to write them a brand new song, one strong enough to expose the Saga Boys and send those disgusting demons back to the depths where they belong. At the same time, Romy decides to take the treatment she got from Dr. Han. But everything falls apart when she realizes it's just grape juice. Suddenly, she spots a strange little bird in her balcony, wearing a tiny hat. When she gets closer to check it out, she sees is actually a demon in disguise. Pretending to be a cat, she quickly draws her sword, but then lowers it again when she realizes the cat isn't here to harm her. The cat gives her a message from Gino. He's asking to meet. Romy agrees, but not to talk. She's planning to kill him. But when they meet, Gino stays calm. He tells her he's not here to fight. He wants to talk about the demon marks on her body. If he wanted to hurt her, he says, he could have exposed her to her friends a long time ago. He's just confused. How can she be both a demon and a hunter? And why is she still walking around freely in the human world? Romy denies being a demon. But if she's not, then where did those marks come from? Gino tells her he knows exactly how it feels to carry those marks. But Romy snaps back, saying, "You're a demon. Demons don't feel anything." Gino calmly replies, "All demons do is feel shame, pain, hopelessness. That's how the Demon King controls us." He tells her she's lucky. Lucky she hasn't heard the Demon King's voice in her head. He'll never forget the first time he did. It was 400 years ago. Back then, his family was poor, desperate, and the only thing he owned was an old, broken keyboard. He'd play music in the streets, hoping someone might throw him a coin, but it never worked. Then one day, he heard the voice. The Demon King told him he'd never be enough for his family. Never strong enough, never good enough. But he could help him become what they needed. And overnight, everything changed. Gino became a star. His voice stunned the world. Even the king praised him. His family was moved to the palace. Their bellies were full. Their clothes were clean. And, for once, they felt safe. But it didn't last. One day, Gino started to notice the demon marks spreading across his skin, fast. Then came the final blow. He was bound to the Demon King forever. His family lost everything, worse than before. And from that day on, he's lived with guilt. The marks on his skin, they're a reminder, a constant reminder of the shame he can never run from. Now he's trying to serve the Demon King, not out of loyalty, but in the desperate hope it might set him free. He gently tells Romy to try accepting who she is, but Romy fires back, "I'm not like you." And Gino understands. He was in her place once too, still in denial, still running. And by the end of the night, the girls finally settle on the song they'll perform at the concert. The next day, the hunters show up to sign autographs for their fans. But the moment the Saga Boys arrive, everything falls apart. Their presence completely steals the spotlight. Even the fans start shifting over to their side. That's when Romy suggests they combine their tables with the Saga Boys. Because right now, they need every single fan they can get. Gino sees an opportunity and tries to chat with Romy again, teasing her, messing around, but Romy shuts it down. She tells him she won't speak to anyone who works for the Demon King. Later, after the show, Romy's back home practicing on her own. That's when the demonic cat Gino sent shows up in her room, inviting her to meet him again. But just as Romy is about to answer, she hears Mira knock on her door. She quickly hides the cat. Mira walks in asking why Romy's been changing the lyrics to their song. Romy says she just doesn't feel like it's the right song to defeat the Demon King. But to Mira, the song should be all about hating demons, fighting them, rejecting everything they stand for. Still, something about Romy's attitude makes her pause. There's a softness in her voice, a hint of sympathy she can't ignore. Mira remembers seeing her talk to Gino. He's supposed to be their enemy. They all hate him because he's a demon. But Romy didn't look angry or afraid when she was with him. She looked calm. That's when Mira starts to feel like Romy is hiding something big. When she asks, Romy denies it. So Mira apologizes, saying she just needed to speak her mind and make sure she wasn't imagining things. But something unexpected happened. Geno and his band had started feeding off their fans' souls through their music and using that power to strengthen the Demon King. That made him even more powerful. At that moment, Rumi decides to send for Geno. She meets with him and tells him there's another way he can gain his freedom, without sacrificing souls to the Demon King. She asks him to help them win the Idol Awards instead, because if they win, the seal will close permanently, and the Demon King will be stripped of his throne. All demons will disappear from this world forever. Geno agrees. He promises to pull his band out of the Idol Awards, and for the first time, we feel the emotions between them. something more than just an alliance. During rehearsal, Rumi tells the girls she doesn't want to sing the song. Not the way it is. She feels it's too cruel toward demons. That pushes Mira over the edge. She's furious. Rumi's been going against everything they've worked for. And now she's questioning the song too? She demands to know what Rumi's hiding. But before Rumi can answer, something major happens. The shield is still weakening. More and more demons are slipping into the human world. And without Rumi's voice, everything could be lost. Finally, the day of the Idol Awards arrives. The girls go on stage and give it their all. Just as Rumi reaches the final verse, Mira and Zoe notice something horrifying. A group of demons is kidnapping Bobby. They run off stage to save him, only to realize it was a trap to lure them away. That wasn't Bobby. Back on stage, two demons disguised as Mira and Zoe attack Rumi and rip her clothes, revealing her demonic identity to the entire audience. The real Mira and Zoe return just in time to see it, and they're in shock and terrified. Rumi tries to explain everything, how she was only trying to make things right, but they don't hear her. All they see is a demon. They raise their weapons against her. To them, this isn't Rumi anymore. It's a monster. Her heart shatters. She runs off stage in tears and goes to find Jeno. That's when she discovers it was him. He exposed her. And worse, half the things he told her about his past were lies. He's the one who abandoned his family and made a deal with the Demon King, all for a chance to escape his miserable life. Now, he just wants one thing from Rumi: a chance to say he's sorry. Meanwhile, the Demon King was working from the shadows, whispering into Mira and Zoe's minds, turning them against each other. And not just them. He was taking control of all the fans, filling their heads with darkness and forcing them to attend the Saga Boys' performance. The moment they began to sing, the Demon King appeared, feeding on the souls of everyone there. But just then, Rumi stepped onto the stage. Her voice broke through the chaos with a powerful new song. One that brought people back to their senses and returned their souls. The Demon King flew into a rage and charged at her, ready to end her for good. But Jeno stepped in. He threw himself between them, sacrificing everything to protect her. With his last breath, he apologized for all the pain he caused. And then, something incredible happened. The fans began to sing, all of them. Their voices gave Rumi and the hunters the strength they needed. Together, they overpowered the Demon King. And at last, they sealed the gate.